Welcome to lesson 4 of module 1, cells as the basis of life. In this video, we're going to be looking at what we refer to as the surface area to volume ratio and how that is important in helping a cell being able to regulate the entry and exit of key materials. So again, we're looking at this inquiry question of how do cells coordinate activities within their external environment and the external environment. Just a little bit of meta language for this video. We've got a ratio and we talk about how much we have of one thing in comparison to another. We then talk about surface area, which is a measure of the total area that the surface of the object occupies. And then we have the volume, which is the quantity of three-dimensional space enclosed by a closed surface. When we talk about the area of the surface membrane, it is really important because it affects the rate at which nutrients can enter the cell, and as well as the entry of these materials, we're looking at the rate at which waste can leave. And as a cell grows, its needs are greater, but the rate of the exchange of materials with its surrounding falls. So we know that as the cell increases in size, the surface area to volume ratio decreases. So as a cell increases in volume, the distance from the center of the cell to the cell membrane also increases. And so it means that the rate of chemical exchange from the center of the cell to the surrounding environment might become too low to maintain the cell. So here we have two different size cubes. On the top we have a 1 by 1 by 1, so we can see that that's 1 centimeter cubed, and then we see down the bottom we have 2 by 2 by 2. And the larger cube has a smaller surface area to volume ratio, so that it will take longer for materials to move from the middle of that 2 by 2 by 2 block to the outside in comparison to the 1 by 1 by 1. So the three ways of increasing the membrane surface area of cells without changing the cell volume are cell compartmentalization. So we talked about that with eukaryotes, and by compartmentalizing the organelles within the cell, it creates more space for membrane-bound enzymes to increase activity in the cell. Having a flattened shape creates a larger surface area to volume ratio. This increases the rate of exchange through the membrane, and it also reduces the distance that substances need to be transported. And then sometimes we also see cell membrane extension. So we can see microvilli and root hairs coming off the cell membrane, and this increases the cell surface area, allowing materials to diffuse and move faster. This lesson will have lots of mathematical calculations occurring in class, so make sure you watch this video and tune in for lesson 5.